Hey guys, how are we today? It's good to see all of you. Uh, um, I didn't go live last week, so I missed you guys. Hey Debbie, it's good to see you. And Trista, it's good to see you. Hey Aaron. Hey Wilby, how are you, buddy? And Nature Rocks, how are you? It's good to see all you guys. Um, you guys, first off, we have an urgent prayer request. Our friend Trista, a friend of that she's known for many, many years, Christy. She is got some bad news today, but we know that like Trista always says, she taught me this. She said, pray that the Lord's hands guide the doctor's hands. And that's what we're going to pray. And just because we get bad news, it doesn't mean, we know He can do anything, right? So please remember her friend Christy, you guys. Hey, Miss Arnold, how are you? It's good to see you. What you been up to today? Um, Trista, also, I had this live prepared for a while that I'm gonna tell you guys about. But yesterday, Trista told me about an urgent missing person, Stefanie Damron. So I wanted to share her with you guys first too. I think I was looking back in my notes and I had saved her flyer, Stephanie's flyer, and I had looked into it a little bit and but not a whole lot. There wasn't a whole lot out about it. And today, hey, wait, what? How are you? It's good to see you. My mama is doing great. Thank you so very much for asking. She's doing really, really good. She's been looking into that she says true crime's not her thing. So she don't watch us, you guys. She's not here during the lives, but she does watch after. But anyways, she has been looking into that P Diddy stuff, and she tells me all about it. So I don't know why that interests her. It just got in her algorithm somehow, so she knows all about it. But yeah, so Stefanie Damron, and you guys, from what I have looked into, just the little bit that I have, it seems like it's kind of, well, you guys know how it goes. People blame the parents right away. And so I'm just going to tell you guys the facts that I know, and we can get her name out there. And she has there. They announced just maybe it was yesterday or the day before the FBI and the Maine State Police announced a $15,000 reward for information in her case. So that's great too, you guys. Hopefully it'll have somebody come forward. Let me get us to where we need to go. And they released some more pictures of her too. So I want to show that to you guys first, and then we'll talk about the live that I had prepared. So I don't have a whole lot for Stefanie. Trista just told me about her yesterday, like I said, but JLR and Locomite, they have been talking about her. So hopefully her case gets as much awareness as the others, you guys. You guys know how we are here. We share all that we can. Um, Let me see here. Okay, so she went miss. Okay, first of all, she's 5'3" tall. This is a photo of her when she was younger, and well, we can't see that one very well. Let me see here. This is the most recent one, and this is this past summer. And hey Nicole, it's good to see you. How are you and your baby? I hope y'all are staying warm. Um, So she's 5 foot tall and 130 pounds, and she has green eyes, beautiful green eyes, you guys, and shoulder length brown hair. She was 13 when she went missing, and it was September the 23rd. So she's been missing for a few months, you guys. It was when her family last saw her, the 23rd. And you guys know how it is. She has had she has ran away a few times in the past. So you guys know that cases like that don't get looked into like they should. And her family lives off grid. And so when she quote unquote runs away, she usually runs out into the woods and they find her and she comes home fairly quickly. But so they said they waited until the next day to report her missing. Um, do you guys see what's on her face right here? I didn't notice it until I pulled it up big like this. It looks like she might have had a breakout or poison ivy or something. I'm not sure. Um, so they waited until the next day to report her. But I do got some good news, you guys. The Maine State Police, so she was reported on the 24th, but let me show you guys all that the state police has been posting about her since 2 days after she went missing. So the 26th is when they started reporting about her. And it says on September 24th, 2024, 13-year-old Stefanie Damron. And you guys, what's also so sad is how she was 13 when she went missing, and she's had her birthday since then. So she's 14 now. And you guys know little girls, they absolutely love their birthdays. And I believe if she could come home, she would have come home for her birthday. Hey, Tony, good afternoon. How are you? It's good to see you. Of New Sweden. That's what this area is called. And it's in Maine, you guys. And it's 200 miles from the Canadian border. And the FBI, or the card team, became involved 3 days after she went missing. So that is great to know, you guys, that the FBI became involved right away. They said that it was because she could have crossed over into other states, or since it's so close to Canada. But I don't care what reason they said, as long as they've been there since the beginning, that will be. That's what kind of hit my mind too. But I pray we're both wrong too. Yeah. Stefanie is described as 5 feet tall, 130 pounds, green eyes, and shoulder-length brown hair. Stefanie was last seen wearing blue jeans, a long-sleeved blue shirt, and black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. And then it gives the numbers to call. And you guys should see the numbers scrolling across the bottom of my screen to call if you have any information whatsoever. Nothing is too small. You know that, guys. And so they have made all of these posts up until they announced the reward a few days ago. So that makes me feel good that they got the information out as soon as they could. And let me see if they have any more information here. Okay, and on October 22nd, they said was last seen walking out of her house and into the woods, located on the West Road in New Sweden on September 23rd. And New Sweden, you guys, it has a population of barely over 500, so a very, very small little town there. I am good, Nicole. Thank you so much for asking. So it says Maine State Police Troop F and the Major Crimes Unit North began investigating the circumstances surrounding Stefanie's disappearance. And it says they collaborated with the state police, the CCU, the Computer Crimes Unit. So that's good too, you guys. They're saying that she didn't have access to social media or anything, but I did find a clip of her dad talking, and he seems to think that she could have gotten a hold of a prepaid phone, I think is what he was saying, and the FBI's card team to ensure that all resources were utilized in finding Stefanie. Despite extensive investigative efforts, Stefanie remains missing. Investigators have conducted many interviews and followed up on leads in Maine, nationally, and in Canada. Canada. The Maine Warden Service and Maine State Police Canine Unit have searched large parcels of land near Stefanie's last known location. The Major Crimes Unit will continue to investigate the case in partnership with the FBI's CARD team. Heather Bratt says very small towns usually mean everyone knows everything that happens. Strange. Yeah. There is an article that tells a whole lot about it. Let me see here. I'll read that to you guys. And there's two Facebook groups related to spreading awareness about her, and I've seen that they do the purple lights instead of the green lights for Sebastian. They've been using purple lights. So if you want to do that and help spread awareness about this little girl, that would be great. And there is a Facebook group called Letters to Stefanie, and I'm not sure who started that group, but they write to her like they're speaking directly to her, and it's really sweet too. I know will be. Yep. Went missing in September, and we are just now hearing from media. Yep. Yep. Hey, Teacup Kraken, how are you? It's good to see you. Yep, we're just now hearing about it. Like I said, I did see a flyer for her. I'm not sure where I seen it, but I did have it in my notes. But there wasn't a whole lot. There wasn't a whole lot about her that I could share with you guys, but I should have at least shared her flyer. Here, let's see here. A group of concerned citizens are combing through the woods of New Sweden for anything that might lead to Stefanie Damron. Let's see. This was on Tuesday, November 5th. Damron was last seen entering the woods, and some places I've seen, you guys, they say that she got in a fight with her sister. She does have 4 other siblings, I know. Yeah, Aaron, that would be a great idea. Aaron says, I wish we had some form of hotline for teen runaways to bridge the gap between them and parents. Yep, that would be a great idea. I'll have to look, you guys, remind me. And if I can find one, we can put that number in our Nightbot and we can drop it too. That would be so helpful. Let's see here. Her family reported missing the following day. Maine State Police have been investigated, so that's okay. Detectives continue to follow up on any and all leads, Maine State Police spokesperson Shannon Moss said Monday. Damron's disappearance has inspired people within and around the small town of New Sweden to come together and search for her, much like the group that formed after Washburn man Eric Foote went missing earlier this year. Searchers say even though the Damron family has declined to become involved, their group wants to do what they can to bring the missing girl home safely. That's what I'm seeing places too, you guys, that the family hasn't been involved much in the searching. And you guys know the look of my life. I seen where she had covered it yesterday, and I was asking her about it, and she said that it's kind of like there's 2 different groups. Some saying, they believe there's something fishy going on, and then in the other group, you guys know how it is. So Teacup Kraken says, I grew up in Maine, and I'm not surprised it took this long to get the information out. Yeah. But at least, you guys, we did see the Maine State Police have been posting since 2 days after her disappearance. Just because I'm just hearing about it doesn't mean that others haven't, so at least they did start posting back then, so that's good. It says, searchers say even though, the Damron family has declined to become involved, their group wants to do what they can to bring the missing girl home safely. Okay, this was on the 5th, right, you guys? The video that I have from her dad was on the 3rd, and he says that they're going to do some searching. So I don't know what happened in those 2 days, but let's see here. We're not going to stop until we find her, said Whitney Nichols of Caribou, who has helped lead the citizen search parties. The FBI is assisting state police in the search and encourages members of the public to report anything they see or hear, even if it seems insignificant, said Kristen Satera, spokesperson for the FBI's Boston division, which covers Maine. And it says police has described her as 5 feet tall and 130 pounds with green eyes and shoulder-length brown hair. She was last seen wearing blue jeans, a long-sleeve blue shirt, and black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. 28 people walked for 10.5 hours on October 26th in the area near the home of Damron's family. So 2 days after she was reported missing, 28 people walked for 10.5 hours. Bless their hearts. Bless their hearts, you guys. And I'd say it was really cold then, too, in Maine. Most were local residents, but a few traveled from southern Maine because they have Aroostook connections. Nichols said that the groups encountered several leads that they turned over to state and federal investigators. They plan to conduct more searches in the weeks ahead after narrowing their focus area. She said that so far the Damron family has not been involved with the search group. Nichols said that the FBI has advised her not to reveal the specifics of the leads due to the pending investigation. Efforts to reach family members for comment have been unsuccessful, but several have spoken about Stefanie online. And then it tells that her great aunt and they were on a TikTok podcast. And the bad part about TikToks, you guys, is that you can't go back and look at their lives that they do. I looked for it because I thought, well, maybe they uploaded it to YouTube too, but I couldn't find it. It says Stefanie's great aunt, Jerry Harms of Illinois, said that Stefanie moved with her parents, Christopher Dale and Lisa Marie Damron, grandfather, and 4 siblings from Texas to New Sweden, a town whose population was 577 as of 2020, 4 years ago. Christopher Damron is Harm's nephew. Harms said Stefanie had tried to run away several times recently, but family members always found her in the woods, Harms said. While appearing on Brooklyn Squad, Christopher Damron said he and the family suspect that Stefanie used an old cell phone belonging to her grandfather to connect with people on social media. And this is where I was telling you guys about the phone. He said, we have bought an old simple phone. We didn't even know it could connect to the internet. Turns out this $20 flip phone was how she connected, Christopher Damron said. We didn't know. Our kids are raised off the grid. No social media. We honestly believe someone could have picked her up. Hey, Crazy Mama. Good to see you. I hope you're doing okay. Let's see here. We honestly believe someone could have picked her up. And this is the numbers to call again. So, like I said, you guys, I'm just getting, I just found this case. So, I do also have I have a video from her dad. He did a little video, and I did find that. And then we can watch the press conference that they did a few days ago. Let me get to the video and I'll come back and get you guys. I gotta log in. Let me see here, guys. It says that's the wrong password. I usually get into all this before I start the live, you guys, but I only came in about 15 minutes before I went live. And usually I come in about 30 at least. Let me see here. I'll go ahead and play the press conference. I do know that I do have that. And then I will look for that interview while I'm doing that. Let me see here. Okay, I got it. And I will share the link with you guys so you can watch it on your own time. They do ask some good questions toward the end, and I'll turn it up if you guys can't hear them good. Just let me know, and I can boost the audio.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Scott Goslin. I'm a major with the Maine State Police. Maine State Police called this press conference in conjunction with the Federal Bureau of Investigation to help bring attention to the disappearance of 14-year-old Stefanie Damron. Stefanie was last seen on September 23rd, leaving her home in New Sweden on foot and walking into the woods behind her home. Stefanie's family is very concerned for her safety, as are we. And to our knowledge, Stefanie does not have current access to electronic devices and has limited access to social media. We are looking for help from the public in order to maintain a vigilance for Stefanie and to report any tips or leads that might be helpful to our investigation. Stefanie is a white female, approximately 5 feet tall, 130 pounds, with shoulder-length brown hair, green eyes, as last reported wearing blue jeans, long-sleeve blue shirt with black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. A photograph of Stefanie is available for publication, and you can see a picture here. Since her disappearance, the Major Crimes Unit detectives in our Northern Field Division, along with the Boston Division of the FBI, have spent hundreds of hours investigating her disappearance, conducting countless interviews, and following up on leads. The Maine Warden Service have canvassed the woods searching for Stefanie, but at this time, there's been no credible information or sightings of Stefanie. The Maine State Police Major Crimes Unit North is collaborating with the Federal Bureau of Investigation with this missing person investigation. Anyone with information concerning Stefanie's whereabouts is urged to contact the Maine State Police at 1-800-924-2261 or 207-532-5400. And you may contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. At this time, I'd like to introduce Special Agent in Charge, Kim Milka from the FBI, who will be making an announcement regarding a reward related to this case.
Thank you, Major. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming and for helping us keep the public informed about our efforts to locate Stefanie. I'm Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Kimberly Milka with the FBI. Our hearts are with the family and friends of 14-year-old Stefanie Damron, who are patiently waiting for answers about her disappearance and are hoping for her safe return home. On September 27th, 2024, the FBI joined forces with our law enforcement partners to assist in the search. Today, we are renewing our call for the public's assistance, and we are here to announce that the FBI is offering a significant reward of up to $15,000 for information leading to her safe return or the arrest and prosecution of anyone involved in her disappearance. The FBI hopes this reward will incentivize anyone with information about Stefanie's whereabouts to come forward. Any detail, no matter how small, could be helpful. Stefanie's family desperately wants to know where she is, and we are fully committed to helping our law enforcement partners exhaust every investigative resource to find her and bring her home. Immediately after she was reported missing, the FBI brought in our Child Abduction Rapid Deployment, or CARD team. The CARD team is a group of highly trained and experienced subject matter experts on cases involving missing children. Investigators have conducted dozens of interviews and followed up on leads in Maine, across the country, and even Canada. Despite extensive investigative efforts, including a neighborhood canvass and video search, along with an expansive grid search utilizing canines from Maine Warden Service and Maine State Police, Stefanie is still missing. We will continue to assist Maine State Police with on-the-ground investigative, technical, and analytical support. We know many of you want to help, which is why we are asking the public to review Stefanie's missing person poster and share it on social media. Rest assured, we are working to find out what happened to Stefanie and reunite her with her family.
So we'd also like to take just a moment and thank the members of the public and the media for their continued attention to this case. Your efforts in keeping Stefanie's disappearance in the forefront of the community are invaluable, and
Trista says, Mo, I'm afraid of the outcome on this one. I don't know. I'm feeling really sad with this one. For some reason, I'm just really afraid of what's happened. I know, Trista. I have that same feeling too. Yeah, and it's been so long too. Miss W, I love you bunches too. Yeah, Will be. You're right. It's always good to see. Like Miss W says, it's always good to see you guys.
we do appreciate your support as we remain focused on bringing her home safely. As you know, there are some investigative details and strategies that are unable to be shared at this time, but we will do our best to answer a few questions if you have.
Did she have a cell phone and leave it behind, or did she not have one at all? If she did leave it behind, what does that tell you about this investigation?
There were no devices taken with her at this time, and she did not have a cell phone.
Had she run away before, and what is your hope of maybe she run away this time?
So he said that she didn't have a cell phone and there was no devices taken. So wonder if her dad is saying she used that phone somehow before but left it there. I don't know, guys. Oh, crazy mama, thank you. Thank you so much.
So this behavior has not been uncommon for Stefanie, which is why I think the family waited a little bit of time, gave her a little bit of time before calling the police immediately. But in this case, for obvious reasons, since she hasn't turned up, we slowly ratcheted up all the investigative resources that are present, in that area today for this reason.
We've gotten some information about that there may be some concerns inside the household, no running water and things like that. There's other children in the household. Has DHHS been called in at all?
Yes, thank you for that question. Of course, yeah. So in any of these cases, whenever we have a minor that's involved, that goes missing, or there could be an issue in the home, DHHS is always notified in those circumstances, and certainly in this case.
One of the flyers I saw said ties to.
Oh, that's really good, you guys, that DHS was notified, because somewhere I read that she did have 4 siblings. So hopefully, if that home isn't safe, that they, they protect her other brothers and sisters that are there too,
To West Virginia, Texas, and New Hampshire. Is that accurate? And if so, are those friends or other family members?
So the tips that have come in for out of the area, so there's some for Canada and other states, they're tips from the public that maybe she had a social media friend at the time or acquaintance. So we just try to follow up on any information for those outside the states.
Do you have any reason to believe that there was foul play? Because you said the card unit was involved, and then, or maybe that she's with somebody, or was there someone she might have been meeting?
So at this point, everything is still on the table for us. From her simply being missing to run away to the worst situation, because we don't have any concrete leads or tips that will let us basically one direction or the other. So we don't want to leave anything on the table and not take something serious. So, but at this point, there's nothing that leads us in one specific direction.
Was it verified that she went into the woods? I mean, did the dogs, or was there any sort of
other than the information that's where she was headed is the woods, and that is also past behavior as well.
So you haven't uncovered like any evidence but well, where possible whereabouts.
We have,
I know you guys waited a little bit to do that ground search, to do that extensive ground search, with the members of the community. Do you guys think maybe you waited too late to do that in order for the dogs to get sent, or what's the thought process on that?
so the ground search with the warden service was only 2 days after the fact. Typically in a missing person investigation, you start with the investigative leads, and then you call in the resources that you need. So it's a matter of following up. So no, I don't believe it's too late. And the wardens they'll do a grid search as well, so it's more than just dogs, it's also humans as well.
What about anything that has led to trafficking, sex trafficking? I mean, we're talking the northern part of Maine, which people think it doesn't happen there, but in your experience, has there been anything that could be connected to this?
Again, all possibilities of what happened to Stefanie are still on the table. We don't have any specific information that that's what's happening, but we are trying to get any tips.
Yeah, Crazy Mama, she was 13 when she went missing September the 23rd. And I'm not sure what day her birthday is, but since she's been missing, she's turned 14. Butterfly Kisses said, "Hey Mo, did you see the missing kid out of Florida?" No, I have not. I always try to help here to spread as much awareness as I can. Like I say, you guys, I know that my platform is small, but we only need the right one set of eyes to see what we share, the right set of eyes. So if I share here, or if you guys share on your own social media, you never know, it doesn't matter how small our platforms are. But I do have to say that all the people sharing about Sebastian's case and about the 50,000 or reward in his case, I wish that they would share about Stefanie too. They could share that she has a $15,000 reward, and even if they just wanted to start there. I did see JLR and Lokama, they have shared about her, and I just wish they would share about others too sometimes. But we will do our part here. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be. We never know. Wait, what? Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's that direction if we receive it.
And because it's so far up north, I know you said you were searching Canada as well. If she was in Canada, like how would that process move forward, like looking for her?
We would partner with the RCMP or the FBI also has resources that we can partner with other law enforcement to follow up on any information.
And the FBI doesn't typically get involved with, say, a typical run and play case. So people might be asking, why are you here? Is it because the family is concerned, because it's been 2 months?
Well, I think in any missing persons case, especially so close to the border like this, you're going to want to involve the FBI, especially in any missing persons case where we haven't taken anything off the table, nothing has been ruled out or eliminated. Crossing state lines is certainly in one of those possibilities. And of course, that's outside our jurisdiction. So that's where we would really look for help from the FBI.
Are there concerns she could still be in the woods, but in more danger with the falling temperatures and the snow this week?
Well, of course, there's always that concern. I think our hope at the beginning of hunting season is that a hunter might come across something that would lead us in one direction or the other. That has not happened. There is still a little bit of hunting time left up in that area, so I would highly encourage those hunters that are up there to be extra vigilant.
Although this was like common behavior with Stefanie, was there anything that maybe the family indicated was different about maybe conversations or anything that
Miss W says, "Is this the missing girl that her parents have CPS reports on them from a previous incident?" You might actually be right, Miss W. I just found this case yesterday, so You may be right. I'm going to look into it further, but since I was doing a live today anyways, I just wanted to share the information that I had, but you might be right. Absolutely. Wait, what says the attention is slowly getting attention in my honest opinion, maybe because of the reward money. Any thoughts on that? Yep. Yep. And that's usually why that they release rewards is anything that they can do to for the media, to put anything else new out, they'll do that. Yeah, I'll look into it. Butterfly Kisses, I took a screenshot, so I will see what I can find. Absolutely. And here, you guys, when he was speaking that he was hoping the hunters might be able to help, you guys remember that I told you that one of my moderators and my friends, that Amanda Martin, remember we were looking at her case and getting the information out that was in Indiana? They did find her body, you guys. Unfortunately, they did find her body, and it seems to be, I'm hoping that her family gets answers soon, because she left without any shoes or her teeth, you guys. And it seems like people that wear false teeth, they have them in all day long, and sometimes they even sleep in them, I think. So, or the only time they would take them out is when they're sleeping, I think. So, in my opinion, it's that something might have happened to her while she was getting ready for bed. I just have that stuck in my mind. So I'll keep you guys updated about that too, but please pray for her family. Her daughter did an interview, and I feel really sorry for her too, you guys, and her brother. Crazy Mama says, hate when they find just the body, but I'm thankful they are able to put to rest as well. Yes, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You're grateful, that they can have a proper burial, but if you pray for justice too. I understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah, we're really not going to get into those investigative details about what was happening in her life in that day or two prior to, but at this point, again, everything is still on the table.
Can you tell me if DHHS intervened at all, or anything that they may have done? The children still in the home? The children?
No, I'm sorry, I can't speak to what DHHS is doing there at all.
Well, you said she had a history of running away. I mean, how many times has she tried to run away?
I can't speak to that but for saying it was not uncommon. This was not uncommon.
Something else, you guys, that kind of hits me wrong is when they said she tried to run away, but she was found in the woods. So it's just weird how they worded that in the article we read. It's like, so did they stop her physically and like drag her back, or what? If she was having that much trouble and was trying to run away, they should have, I don't know, you guys, I hate to say should have, but I will say that I wish she would have gotten therapy or help to help that feeling, whatever was making her want to run away. Teacup Kraken says New Sweden only has a population of less than 600. Yep, that's what I read too. Yep.
Was there a history of maybe mental health concerns or anything along those lines?
I don't believe there was at this point. I don't believe that there was any history of mental health concerns whatsoever. But again, certainly, we proceed with all of these cases as if, anybody is under mental duress or anything like that. So if there was an issue, we certainly, wouldn't do anything differently at this point.
Okay. Did she have a passport?
One more question.
Did she have a passport?
I don't know. I guess I can speak to that. I don't believe she did.
Did she leave a note? No.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Very much.
No note. So he said that she didn't leave a note either. I think that I've got us into I think I've got us into Instagram now, so we can watch that video. I had to reset my password. Let's see. Okay, hang on just a second, guys. Okay. I'll have to take you guys this way. Yeah, crazy mommy, you like that? Yeah, that's what I always say. Hostess with the mostest. I'm silly, you guys. Okay, I'll have to take you here through this way because it starts right away. I don't know much about Instagram, guys. Let me see here. Okay, I'll have to take us in this way.
We need you to help us find a missing Maine teenager. On September 24th, 2024, Stefanie Damron, now 14, disappeared from a home in New Sweeten, Maine. She's not been seen or heard from since. We're now joined by her dad, Dale Damron. Dale, can you tell us what happened to your daughter?
We really honestly don't know. We were at a job interview that day. We got a couple phone calls, couple messages, where we live at and the way we live. The first few hours, there was no reason to raise a red flag. So we got the phone calls that she took off up the road, and we figured by the time we get home, she'd be back, and that would be the end of it. She'd be home. But a day later, we ended up calling the state police, and we still don't know what happened to her. We just want her home.
Do you think this is a case where she could have met a stranger on her phone?
I do. But the situation with the phone is it was not her phone. It was her grandfather's phone. We had bought an old, simple phone. We didn't even know it could connect to the internet. We tried several times to connect to the internet. We could never do it. But come to find out, this cheap $20 flip phone was how she ended up connecting to the internet. And that's what it led to this, is she found a way to get on one of these dating websites or something like that we didn't know about, because we just assumed that phone wasn't capable of it, because our kids are raised, no social media. We live off grid. We keep to ourselves. We don't bother people. But we honestly do think that she did meet somebody online and probably pick her up at this point.
If she's out there watching, what message do you have for Stefanie?
Just come home. No judgment. Just come home.
Now, let's take another good look at Stefanie Damron. She's 14 years old, 5 feet tall, 130 pounds, with green eyes and shoulder-length brown hair. She was last seen wearing a long-sleeve blue shirt with blue jeans and black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. If you've seen Stefanie or have...
So he said that that I guess him and his wife were on a job interview that day, and they had gotten several calls. He didn't say what it was about or anything. And he said that the phone that she must have used was her grandfather's phone. And he says a dating website. But like Trista says, what's the proof? Has he seen proof of this, or is that just what he's thinking, or what? I have heard that, we saw that her family has done other interviews, but it looks like they were live on TikTok, and I can't find, oh, wow, Miss W. Thank you. She says, but the CPS report was from years ago, and they left kids in a car while they were drinking in a restaurant. Not sure if the teen was one of the kids. Wow. Like I said, you guys, I'll have to look more into this. I'm so glad that Trista shared this with us yesterday, though. Let's look through her photos one more time. And that's another thing. We only have one most recent photo from this past summer. This one. And then we have some more of when she was younger. See, she looks totally different there. Oh, bless her. Let's see. And I think that's all that let's look at this. This is from FBI. And this was on December 2nd. It says the FBI and Maine State Police announced $15,000 reward for missing Aroostook County teenager. Let's see if it says. Oh, it says the FBI hopes this reward will incentivize anyone with information relating to Stephanie's whereabouts to come forward. Any detail, no matter how small, could be helpful. Stephanie's family desperately wants to know where she is, and we are fully committed to helping our law enforcement partners exhaust every investigative resource to find her and bring her home. The Maine State Police remain steadfast in our investigation into Stephanie's disappearance. We deeply appreciate the FBI's support as we continue to urge anyone with information to come forward. Let's see here. I know, Erin. She says, seems like she was done with off-grid life, possibly. Hey, 71, how are you? Good to see you. And that just tells about everything, basically, that we've... I will post this. This is from the FBI, their missing person poster. I will post that on my community tab after we get done here today, you guys, so that you can share it that way if you want to. Okay, now guys, I want to talk about the original live that I had planned for today. I don't know if you guys seen it. I don't go on TikTok much, but there we can watch her TikTok video. There is a girl who said that her DNA helped solve a cold case, and I wanted to tell you guys about that because the trial for the alleged perpetrator starts on December 12th, and so I'm hoping that it's televised. So first, I wanted to take you guys back to the original day and to the original newspaper article that happened. It was 1997. It's hard to see that. It's hard to see articles that far back because a lot of stuff wasn't on the internet yet, and but I was able to find this one article. Let's see here. So this says it was published on July 13th, 1997, and the baby was found on June 26th, 1997. Okay, I'm just going to read this article because it's really good. It tells about, it says in a tiny campground near a tiny UP village, a septic worker made a haunting discovery. Now investigators are trying to piece together the tragic puzzle of baby Garnett. And this is in Michigan, you guys. And it says that this population of the town was only around 60, but the whole community was only around 11,000. And it was in a campground about 20 miles out of town. Yeah, will be. That's what I heard too. I don't see how it could be a whole lot worse than here, but that's what I heard too. I'm not a TikToker either. Oh. Okay, it said Garnett Lake is so small that it doesn't show up on the state highway maps. If you're familiar with the area, you know there's a small campground tucked away behind the lake on an arc of sandy road. In early June, someone who knew this secluded spot or someone stumbled upon it, picked an outhouse septic tank and made it a tomb for an infant girl. Oh, you guys. And I'm not sure if it was really like blocked and closed off or what, but this campground had been closed the 2 years prior, and so they decided to open it up in June. And I think it tells the manager went to open it up. This supervisor, Bill Hanson. It says everybody's befuddled, said Bill Hanson, supervisor of the vast but sparsely populated Hudson Township in Mackinac County. Nobody seems to have any hard evidence about what happened out here. Hanson, nursing a damp stub of cigar on a rainy day last week, collected trash from campsites and discussed his role in the discovery of the child who would become known as Baby Garnett. let's see here. The non-site Hudson Township campground at Garnet Lake had been closed for 2 years, until the new township board decided to reopen it this summer. Hanson was checking out the area in late June when he noticed the cement block covering the septic vault behind the men's outhouse had been moved out of place. He also noticed the outhouse tanks were full and in need of service. That baby never probably would have been discovered if we hadn't decided to pump out those tanks, Hanson mused. Yeah, you guys, what if they hadn't discovered that they needed pumped out? That's so sad. So they said they discovered her on June 26th, but they said that she could have been there as early as June the 1st. It says the infant's body was found on June 26, 1997 by septic worker James Everhart of Gould City. It's a real hard thing for me to even talk about it right now, Everhart said. It's a tough deal to even fathom that it happened. Yeah, you guys, bless his heart for finding it. First responders, they are kind of, you don't get used to it, but they're kind of more used to seeing stuff like this. And this septic tank worker had never seen this in his life, and hopefully he never seen this again. But I was praying for him the other day when I was first reading this, because I can't imagine. It says, like just about everyone else in the county, Hanson has trouble believing that something like this could happen in tiny Garnett, which has an unofficial population of about 60 people. That's even smaller than the place we just read about where Stefanie lives. But it says on County Road H40, about 12 miles east of Engadine, Garnett is a cluster of a little more than a dozen houses along the road and railroad tracks. Let's see here. The outhouses are set away from the shoreline behind a small hill under some big pines next to an open field of raspberry canes and Indian paintbrushes. I know, you guys, people do forget to pray for the first responders. Yeah, me too, Miss Arnold. It says an autopsy in Grand Rapids gave police what scant information they knew about the child. Forensics tests showed the infant had gestated for between 38 and 40 weeks. Full-term gestation is 40 weeks. Police believe the baby girl was white and that she was left in the outhouse as early as June 1st, 1997. An umbilical cord was not found. Beyond those few facts, investigators can tell little about what happened to her. The autopsy, at least the work done so far, hasn't been able to tell if she was born alive or stillborn, what the cause of death was, or anything, said Mackinac County Prosecutor Clayton Graham. He's not even sure what kind of crime could be charged in this case. We'll have to go over the case with the pathologist and detectives and see what else can be determined. The incident is being investigated jointly by the Mackinac County Sheriff's Department and the Michigan State Police. We've gotten some leads, said Detective Sergeant Robin Sexton of the St. Ignatius State Police Post. We're following up on them. People have called in and given suggestions. We're checking them out. We have to remember, guys, this was before the internet, really, right? We might have had dial-up internet at that time. I can't remember, but most people didn't even have cell phones, no smartphones. You might have had a flip phone. And who had heard of DNA? Well, maybe, I think I first heard about DNA in the OJ trial. And that was maybe right around this time or a little before this, but they were describing the DNA like way confusing to my brain. So I did not understand any of it at this time. So it wasn't widely known about at this time, basically, is what I'm saying. It said they're still awaiting autopsy results. So already at this time, he said new leads in the case had been tapering off. It's been really down. We've had a few, but nothing overwhelming, he said. Nothing's panned out yet. Still, Sexton maintains he's optimistic the case will be solved. Someone out there knows what happened at the Garnet Lake campground. Sexton's certain of that. The question is who, he said, and what's it going to take to get them to call us. He believes there are several clues that may point to the identity of the infant's mother. unexplained weight gain over the past few months, and especially unexplained weight loss during the last month. A pregnancy that began in September 1996. Changing clothing styles to baggy attire since April. Depressive and sleeplessness during the last month. Gynecological complaints, including bleeding, loss of menstrual cycle in the past months. He suggested that the remote location of the campground makes it likely that whoever abandoned the baby is a nearby resident. Let's see here. Well, this person says Whitney doesn't think that the person who abandoned the baby is from the area. I can't believe it was, or somebody would have known about it. Guys, can somebody help me? I know. Hey, Aries, how are you? Guys, can you guys help me? Okay, if this was in 1997, I know the perpetrator now, and she's 70 right now. So can you guys help me figure out how old she was in 1997? I can't do math, and especially while I'm multitasking here. So it says someone, Hanson said, I don't know who, named the baby Garnett. According to Prosecutor Graham, the name was chosen for where they found her, and Garnett, he added, is a precious stone. Said Hanson, the township supervisor, we're going to donate a plot in the little cemetery up on the hill there and have the sexton bury her. Garnett Cemetery is less than a mile down the road from the campground. Okay, you guys, he said they're going to have a ceremony for her, and they did. They ended up collecting $1,000, and about 40 people ended up coming to her ceremony, and that's pretty good for the whole town to be less than 60 population, you know. And they had her in a white casket, and I'll show you guys her tombstone. Let's see here. So this was the men's outhouse that they found her behind. So I guess behind this was a mine neither, Heather Brett. Mine neither. Yeah, Miss Arnold, she would be 70 right now. So that was 27 years ago. So what's 70 minus 27? Yep, so this is the restroom in the Garnet Lake Campground, the men's restroom. And behind this, I guess there's a septic tank. And Bill Hanson saw that the cover over it had been moved. So that's why he decided 43 big crumbs. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Trista. So she would have been 43 when she had this baby. And this is the campground too. And this is the tombstone they made for her, you guys. Bless her heart. Baby Garnett. Baby girl Garnett, 1997. Yep. Okay, so now I have to tell you guys what came. So it was so after 1997, in 2017, they decided to send in DNA samples because all of the all the advancements in DNA and stuff like that. And it was Identifiers International, I believe. And let's see here. It was on July the 12th of 2022 when they narrowed it down who the perpetrator was, and they went to speak to her, and they traveled to Wyoming. So her name is Nancy, and she had moved to Wyoming from Michigan. And it said that when they went to speak to her, she admitted that she was baby Garnett's mother, and so they had probable cause to arrest her. So this was the next day that the Mackinac County Sheriff's Office released this press release, and it says in 1997, investigators from the Mackinac County Sheriff's Office and Michigan State Police St. Ignatius Post investigated an incident where the remains of an unidentified infant were discovered in a vault toilet at the Garnett Lake Campground in Hudson Township of Mackinac County. The baby was eventually named Baby Garnett by local officials. Although a thorough investigation was conducted, the infant was never positively identified and the case eventually went cold. In the summer of 2017, investigators from the Mackinac County Sheriff's Office and Michigan State Police St. Ignatius Post began review of the Baby Garnett case for any further leads info to follow up on. Upon completion of their review of the prior reports, they decided to use forensic genetic genealogy to further the investigation. Geez, you guys, that was a mouthful. It says investigators began working with a genealogist, and after their investigation into the DNA submitted by investigators, they were able to provide the investigators with family bloodlines for further review. The genealogist was also able to provide the name of the birth mother of Baby Garnett to investigators. Investigators followed up on the information and identified the mother as a 58-year-old. Oh, wait, you guys, 60. So she was 58 in 2022, so she would be 60 now. I said 70, so we need to subtract, so she would have been 34. Oh, I'm messing us up even more, you guys. So this is 2022. So 2 years later, she would be 60. So 60 minus 27. Sorry. Resident of the Garnett area who is now residing in the state of Wyoming. On July 12th, these investigators traveled to Wyoming where they made contact with this woman who confirmed she was the birth mother of Baby Garnett, as well as additional statements that provided probable cause to arrest her on the charge of homicide open murder. This female has been arrested and is currently awaiting extradition back to the state of Michigan on the charge. Additional information will be released after her arraignment. Exactly, Miss Arnold. Old enough to know better. Okay, I found this podcast, and it's the investigator talking about solving this case, and it's only about 10 minutes, I think. So I figured that we could listen to that. We'll listen to her TikTok after this. She gave her DNA and it ended up leading back to her grandmother. And she hadn't met her grandmother ever. So, yep, I'll play that after this.
Hello, and thank you for listening to this latest episode of our Unsolved series. This month, we're taking a look at a case recently solved by detectives in the Upper Peninsula. The case of Baby Garnett is one that has haunted Mackinac County for 25 years. It was June of 1997 when the body of a baby, practically a newborn, was found in an outhouse at the Garnett Lake Campground in western Mackinac County. Detectives at the time did not have much to work with in the way of clues. As they worked, the community gave Baby Garnett a proper burial at the nearby cemetery and affectionately named her Baby Garnett. But investigators finally got a break this summer thanks to technology that's become a common tool in solving cold cases. It's known as forensic genetic genealogy, and it's helped solve cases across the country. In this particular case, it helped detectives track down Baby Garnett's mother all the way in Wyoming. Nancy Garotowski now faces an open murder charge in Mackinac County. Before we dive into the technology, let's get to know the case itself. Mackinac County Sheriff Ed Wilk first dove into the case in 2010 when he was assigned to patrol western Mackinac County. He believed the case was solvable when he first looked at it. And more than a decade later, he was right.
Take me back to when this case first started, back in June of 1997.
It was June 26, 1997, and I wasn't here at the time. I learned about this in 2010 when I came back. But when I came here, I actually reviewed the case file for this. And at the time, I thought this was a very solvable case as time had progressed. But reading it, the deputies that got the initial call to basically company that was cleaning out the outhouses for the park, and the guy that was cleaning out the outhouses used obviously the big suction, and it got clogged. And once he went to undo the clog, that's when he noticed that he had sucked up the baby. And then obviously he called 911, and we responded out there. And from there, the investigation started and gathering. And of course, in 1997, the technology, I guess, wasn't there back then like it is now. They had the foresight to gather the information, and the DNA, that really wasn't a thing, so you really didn't even know to gather it. But they did very good at the time with what they had, and that was extremely important, which obviously helped solve this case, obviously 25 years later. With that being said, once the officers responded, we were assisted by the state police at the time as well. And obviously we had to clean out the rest of the outhouses and find other evidence that's in there. And so they went to lagoons and cleaned that out and gathered more evidence from there.
It is not a stretch to say news of the discovery sent shockwaves through the area.
This is not a daily occurrence. I mean,
No, by any stretch of the imagination.
right. So you're going about your business, and your job is to clean out outhouses, and you're just trying to get your job done, and you come upon something like this, and it just changes everything, and it affected so many people that weren't even directly involved with this. I mean, the guy that was cleaning the outhouses out, that was in itself, I mean, traumatic for him. And of course, then obviously he brings that home and has to explain to the family what happened. And oh my God, this is just what happened, what I found. And here he's living with that for 25 years as well. It's the same thing with the deputies and the officers that were there at the time, having to, go through, the feces and the contents of an outhouse. I mean, we've all been in an outhouse. We know what it's like. It's not pretty. And then yet you still have to go through that to try to find evidence. I don't think people understand the amount that we have to do that goes into this behind the scenes. I mean, a lot of people watch, the TV shows and stuff, and the crime is solved here in, an hour. That's just not reality. And sometimes it takes a long time. But again, I've made the comment several times that even though this may have been out of sight, it was never out of mind. The original deputy that responded to this and got the call, still has since retired and came back, but he's still bothered by that this is one that he couldn't solve. And like I said, it affected so many people because here you have a baby and you really don't have any other evidence, and there's no family ties. You don't even know which direction to go. I mean, how long the baby was there, where do you go? I mean, you're literally starting at ground zero.
Reports from the time show an autopsy revealed baby Garnett was essentially a newborn. As detectives worked the case, the community worked to make sure the baby girl had a proper burial.
To have the community come together like it did, and I think truly not just across the United States, but across the world in general, people are overall, they're good people, right? And they want to do the right thing and help. I think that truly is in every person. Some go a different route, but otherwise I'd be out of a job. But for the most part, everybody does want to help. And when you have the rural area like this in a small community and everybody knows everybody, that is just what you do. Everybody comes together and helps. And we've seen that so many different times, even since I've been here at the sheriff's office. The people that have come together for.
So he said that they, oh man, now I stopped it. I don't know if I can start it back. He said that he started looking into it again in 2010. Oh man. I'll get us back, guys. Oh man, I think I totally messed this up, guys. I think I can get us back. Hang on a minute. Well, we can just go ahead and listen to the TikToker now to listen to what she said. At the end of that, though, the genealogist does explain how they narrowed down the family trees, and she said that it was through a grandchild, she said. So that's why it leads me to believe that that I really do think that this girl is telling the truth too. Let me see here. Let me get us there and then I'll come back and get you guys. Jeez. Let's see here. I'll have to find it, guys, and then I'll come back and get you guys. Okay, let me see here. Okay. I don't do TikTok much either. TikTok or Instagram. I'm going to have to get with the times, you guys. For real, for real. Yes.
Couldn't tell. I've never made a video like this. Get ready with me while I tell you about how an Ancestry DNA kit is putting my grandma in prison. So in case you couldn't tell, I've never made a video like this before. I've already tried to record this a couple times, and I keep stumbling over my words. This video might take...
She said, so get ready with me while I tell you how my DNA put my grandmother in prison. Whoa. So I saw this first, you guys, from I forget where I saw it at. And so then I was like, well, let me look up this case. And then I learned what I shared with you guys earlier. So that's why usually I don't talk about quote unquote solved cases, but I wanted to talk about the baby, you guys, too. And also to get us ready, hopefully the trial will be supervised so we can learn more, you know. So you guys can hear it when I play this, okay? I know, crazy mama. One time, well, when I first got on TikTok, I totally fell down a thirst trap. I'll just be honest, totally fell down one. And once you watch one, that's all that they suggest to you. That's all that's in your algorithm. Oh my goodness, I totally did. Okay.
a few minutes to get through because it is quite a long story and I don't want to split it up into separate fucking parts like everybody does. So just bear with me. So I'm going to start with a little bit of the backstory. So I've never met my grandmother. I didn't even know her name until I was like 14 or 15 years old. And for reasons that are not my business to tell, when my mother's ready to tell that story, then that's on her. But I've never met my grandmother. So just keep that in mind. The other little part of the backstory that I feel like people should know is that this case was very popular in the town that I grew up in because it was so fucked up. It was the Baby Garnet case, and I know a lot of people are curious. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about what the fuck happened, especially in my hometown. So I'm here to start talking about it. Obviously, I can't talk about everything.
Well, guys, sorry about the language. I totally forgot about that part. That she used this type of language, but yeah, she did. She said that she has never met her grandmother, and she didn't even know her grandmother's name until she was 14 years old. Sunday Doodles, a thirst trap, is like it'll show you like a cowboy, like out cutting, or a lumberjack cutting, chopping wood with his shirt off, and then that's all you'll see from then on. Like you be watching like true crime Or like you'll be watching Yellowstone clips or something, and then it'll go to that, and then that's all it'll show you from then on. Oh.
But I can tell you my story. Let's get into it. So, go back about 2 years ago. I watched my best friend get an Ancestry DNA kit for Christmas. And I thought it was dope. I was like, I need one of those. I want to see all the cool shit that she's seeing right now. So I bought one. It's literally you spit in a fucking tube, you swab your mouth, you send it in, and they give you your Ancestry results. It's actually really fucking cool. And I had a blast doing it. Little did I know. So I sent it in, got my results back. Everything was cool and fine. So then about a year later, I'm at work and I get a phone call, and it's a fucking detective from the Michigan State Police.
Guys, I forgot to tell you guys, her name is Jenna Rose, and she's 23 years old now. She's 23 years old. So technically, her aunt would have been 4 years older than her because it was 1997. So she was probably born in 2001 or something. So that's kind of crazy too, huh?
Out of St. Ignace. And I was like, excuse me. I was like, what the fuck did I do? So I start freaking out. I was like, okay, I'm either about to really go to jail or somebody is dead. So I start freaking out. And he was like, I just want to let you know that I reopened a cold case from like 25 years ago. And he was like, and your DNA is a direct match to the victim of this case. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, what case? And he was like, you've heard of the Baby Garnet case, right? And I was like, I was like, you're joking, right? And he was like, no. He was like, I know that it's shocking. He was like, and I know that it's, you know, a weekday at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And I kind of just sprung this on you. He was like, but we've been investigating and your DNA matches. And I was like, okay. So I start talking to this dude, and he like proceeds to tell me that he wants to connect me with this lady from Chicago. He said that she like runs this worldwide database, and he wants me to talk to her so she can upload my DNA into this worldwide database to like broaden the search, I guess. So I okayed it, and he told me that he would give her my number and she'd call me after I got off work. So I get home from work, and I'm telling my mom about this call. I was like, listen, like, this is fucked up. Like, listen to this. And she was like, I wouldn't like listen to that. She was like, Papa just got a phone call saying that Uncle Marcus is dead and that they needed like his social security number or something like that to confirm that it was like he was his father. And he was not dead. Like, it was a fucking scam, but freaked my grandpa out. And so my mom was like, don't, like, it could be a scam, you know? So this lady calls me, and I'm on the phone with her, and she's like, I just need, like, your permission. And I was like, you have my permission, girl. I was like, whatever you need me to do, like, I'll do it. And she was like, okay, I need your password. And I was like, who the fuck's gonna ask me for my password that's not a scammer, you know? And so I hung up the fucking phone. So like a week later, I get another phone call from my mom. And she was like, hey, she was like, you need to come home right now. And I was like, I'm at work. I can't just leave. And she was like, yeah, you can. She was like, it's an emergency. Like, you need to come home right now. So I was like, all right, whatever. So thank God my manager was understanding. She ended up letting me leave. And it was just crazy. I ended up getting home, and one of my cousins were there. And she was like, you know that phone call you got? And I was like, how the fuck do you know about that? And she was like, because of there was state police at my door this morning. And I was like, okay. She was like, it's not a scam. Like, I've been in contact with them all morning. Like, you really do need to call that lady back. Because they need your DNA. Okay. So I called her back. We uploaded my DNA into this worldwide database, and it comes back as a distant relative. So they were like, are we able to speak with your mom? And I was like, actually, she's sitting right here. So they spoke with my mother. They asked for her permission to take her DNA. So they ended up meeting up with her the next day. taking her DNA.
Okay, so what I'm gathering is she loaded her DNA up to Ancestry.com, and now the investigators, so this would be in 2020, I think. Well, you guys know they started in 2017, and then I think they got to her around 2020, or maybe right before they went to speak to Nancy in 2022. But anyways, so first they came into contact with this family because she did Ancestry.com, and then they wanted to take her mom's DNA and her DNA. Sorry guys, I forgot about this. Her language. It would have been, a lot better. I don't think it's ladylike to speak like this, like every few seconds. Like sometimes I do cuss, you guys, when like it's somebody really bad that hurts children or something. I totally just like say what I want to say about them, but I try to save those words for like when I really want to emphasize how bad people are. These words kind of lose their value when you say it every other breath, I'm sorry, guys.
And ended up obviously running it through the same database that they ran mine through, and ended up finding out that it's not a distant relative to my mom, but a direct relative. And the only other people that it could have been was my mom's mother. They kind of started doing their own investigating and figured out that that's who it was. So we were mind blown. Mind you, I've never met this woman before. She is literally the person that they've been looking for 25 years. And it's all because of a fucking Ancestry DNA kit. So yeah, everything kind of unfolded from there. I'm not really allowed to talk about anything that has happened outside of that right now. But obviously it's going to come out. Shit has already been in the news, and I know you bitches have seen it because I've seen your fucking comments. So yeah, to all the nosy bitches that wanted to know, here's the tea. Now shut the fuck up. Get ready with me while I tell you about how an Ancestry DNA kit is putting my grandma in prison. So in case you couldn't
This
tell,
video
I've never made a video.
has 17 million views, you guys. She does make another one answering a few questions, I think. But basically, she says she's not going to answer any questions. Let me see here. I think that let me see here. Sorry about the cussing, you guys. I really didn't know that. Yeah. So yeah, I do believe her. Okay, you guys, wonder if she hadn't have taken that DNA test, if her friend hadn't taken one and she hadn't gotten the idea to do it, wonder if they would have been able to link it back some other way. They probably would have, but it probably would have taken a lot longer because she's a direct descendant, So after they arrested Nancy, let me show you guys Nancy. They arrested her in July of 2022, and then this is Nancy. Yeah. Let me show you guys her and Jenna. They do look alike, you guys. See? They really do. To me. Yeah. And so when they arrested her in July, let me see here. So they arrested her July the 13th in Wyoming, and then on July the 30th, they extradited her back to Michigan. And so a little over a year later, in October 2023, she was released on her own recognizance. So she didn't even have to pay any money, you guys. And but she is under GPS monitoring and home confinement. And then in May of 2024, the judge ruled that the case could go to trial, and the trial date is set for December the 12th. So let's see what this says. This might say something different. Let me see here. No, that tells about all that we know already. Let me see here if I got anything else for you guys. Nope, I believe that's all that I did find this, you guys. Okay, so there has been a safe haven law. You guys know that they have they do have the baby boxes. Oh, did you guys know that Sunday Doodle says, how do they know it was a live birth? I'm not really sure about that, but they did the charges that they have her on is open murder, involuntary manslaughter, and concealing the death of another. So on the open murder, she could face life in prison for that. Let me see what this says right here. Oh, what I was going to say about the safe haven law is that Michigan has had a safe haven law since 1939. So she could have dropped this off at any hospital or fire station and wouldn't have faced any charges. I think they said that the baby could be up to 48 hours old. So she could have done that even before they have the baby boxes. Let me see here. I got an article here. Let me see if it says anything. That was a very good question, Sunday. Let me see here. Nope, that doesn't answer that either. I do know that they haven't released the cause of death for the baby yet, I don't think. Let me see here. I got one more article. Let's see if this says here. Oh, okay, right here, you guys. Let me show this to you guys. Let me come back and get you guys. I found something else. So right here it says she is thought to have given birth to the child at home where it died of asphyxiation. So it does give the cause of death, asphyxiation, before she left the body in the outhouse, according to the local outlet. Prosecutors argue that the baby could have been saved if medical help had been sought. Yep, so right there is what it says. I guess they could tell through the autopsy. And that is a miracle all in its own, because it said the baby could have been left as early as June the 1st, and they didn't find the baby until June the 26th. So it had been in that septic tank, you guys, for 3 weeks. A little more than 3 weeks before it was found. Yeah, the safe haven law had been since 1939 in Michigan. So she definitely could have left it at a safe haven. It says right here, in October 2023, Nancy was released on a personal recognizance bond and had to comply with GPS monitoring and home confinement. She faces the possibility of life in prison if convicted. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that's all that I have for you guys. I had prepared this live about baby Garnett for I've had this for a few days, and then yesterday I just learned about Stefanie from Trista, and so I wanted to share that with you guys too, for sure, so we could get her name out. But I'm going to look further into it, because what Miss W told us about previous reports, that could give us some more information about her. That's for sure. Let me show you guys her pictures a few more times. Miss W says, wonder why they were estranged. Like, who doesn't know their grandmother's first name if they are still alive? Exactly. She does say in another one of her TikToks that they are going to share their story, but they're looking into doing a documentary. So, oh, great, Crazy Mama. I'm so glad. When you guys come and spend your time with me, that means so very much to me. You don't even understand. When you come and listen to what I have to say, it means a whole lot. It really, really does. Okay, so this is Stefanie again. She's 5 feet tall, 130 pounds, and she has green eyes and shoulder-length brown hair. And she was last seen on September the 23rd in Maine. And her parents reported her missing on the 24th, New Sweden, Maine. But she could be anywhere by now, of course. And the numbers are running across the bottom of my screen, but you can always call 911 if you happen to see her. And there is up to $15,000 reward for information leading to her whereabouts. Yeah. Well, I enjoyed having you all today. Hopefully you guys, I love giving good updates. So you guys keep an eye on my community tab, and hopefully we can give a good update about Stefanie. You guys, like you guys said, it's not looking good, but we can always keep hope. We always can. Wait, what? Well, thank you. Thank you for coming. It was good to see you again too. I go live at least once a week. But if there's something else on my heart, I always go live again or try to spread information. I make little short videos sometimes or leave it on my community tab. But thank you all so very much for coming today. And don't forget to say your prayers and take your vitamins, especially right now where we're not getting a lot of sun. Vitamin D is important. But I'm not giving medical advice. Check with your doctor, of course. Yeah. Okay, I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, Vanessa, share your link. You guys go check out Vanessa's channel. I don't I don't get outside a whole lot. You guys know, most of you guys know that I'm paraplegic, but I don't get outside in the woods a whole lot, and Vanessa shares the most beautiful pictures, you guys. So please check out her channel. She just dropped her link there. And she posts the most beautiful pictures, usually daily, on her community tab. And she's going to do a live sometime soon and get us all outside. So that'll be nice. Okay. Oh, Heather Bright, I'm so glad. Yes, always take your vitamins. Okay, I love you all. See you later. Bye-bye.